Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all. This is your host Vaibhav. I welcome all of you to today's session of JForex Indicators Explained, where we will be looking at the formulation, properties and the uses of the one important and interesting indicator. The name is Parabolic SAR. SAR stands for stop and reverse. And from the name itself, you can make a assessment that this indicator is used to determine whenever there is a trend change. We get an immediate idea from bearish to bullish or from bullish to bearish. Both ways it works. And this indicator is mostly used to look for optimizing or maximizing the profits whenever the markets are trending. But it also has some drawbacks whenever there is the consolidation going on. We don't really have one-sided moves in such kind of scenarios. It generally generates multiple false signals, or it can generate multiple false signals. So we will see both the sides of this indicator, and we will see what kind of formulations might work best for us on the JForex platform. So now let us head to the JForex 4, which is the newly launched trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. There is a excellent trading platform, and you should check it out. If you have the prior version, the 3.6, then I would suggest that you install this new and see its features. And it is of course improvement in every aspect compared to the prior platform, and it is more aesthetic also. If you simply look at it and if you compare it to the prior version, you will notice the design changes which are quite prominent. Now, this is the chart of the Euro USD and the candle period is hourly. Let's plot the parabolic SAR. The parabolic SAR is the indicator included in the overlap studies. There is an indicator which uses the average price. So you will find it amongst various moving averages. So let's see where it is listed. This is the list, and we have seen many of the indicators from this list, and as this series progresses we will be covering almost all the indicators listed in this series. Now today it's a turn of parabolic SAR, and next time around we will also consider the parabolic SAR extended version, which will be offering us more more editing options to customize the properties of the indicator as per the requirement of the situation. Now it is the parabolic SAR, or you can simply do a quick search. You simply have to type in the name and there you get it. All right, so here it is, parabolic stop and reverse. As I said, we get an immediate idea of the substantial price changes whenever we have the moves which lead to defining of the trend change. In such kind of circumstances we get these reversal signals, and that's why it is called stop and reverse and parabolic, because in latter half of the trending market environment it catches up with the price movement quite fast. Initially after the trend change the moves are quite slower, but as the price action progresses we get these sharp moves which eventually lead to the catching up of the prices. And even in the consolidation phase, the market reversals if the market trend reversal happen, we will immediately spot it from these trend changes. So here we have this line drawn, and the setup is default. I haven't made any changes to its input values, and this is the SAR setup with the acceleration of 0.02 and the maximum is 0.2, and depending on that we are getting this output line for calculation purposes. Now its uses, as I said, one simple use is when we have these changes in the plotting of these parabolic SAR line. The classical interpretation or the simple interpretation is that whenever this line is drawn on the higher side of the price action, it indicates that the price moves are in the bearish territory. The trend for the underlying instrument is considered bearish. And when we have this parabolic SAR plotting on the lower side, it is considered bullish. So in this kind of circumstances, we have to keep looking for the buy opportunities as long as the SAR line is on the lower side, and we have to keep looking for shorting opportunities whenever we have this parabolic SAR line on the higher side. And as and when this trend change happens, it can be considered as a signal to change the direction of the trade. And if we have been in bearish mind space, then we have to now consider the change of opinion, change of perspective, and we have to start looking for fresh opportunities on the opposite side of the spectrum. So that's one simple use of this parabolic SR indicator. But that leads to another kind of problem. When the markets are not trending, then we have this kind of situation where even if we were to simply change our trade perspective and change from bearish to bullish somewhere here, it will rise to some extent and then it will decline, but it is not really going to decline much. Then again it comes back and it doesn't really rise much either. So we have this kind of sequences, this kind of circumstances when we get multiple false signals. So that is one thing which have to be kept in mind, and we have to figure out certain combinations which will help us in avoiding these multiple false signals. So for that, you can make changes in these input options for the parabolic SAR reading, and you can customize it as per the requirement, or you can use multiple versions. You can use different sort of combinations. Now, this is based on the hourly time frame. Suppose if I change it to higher time frame, the candle period, let's say it is 4 hourly. All right, now the chart is of the hourly time frame, but the trend is being drawn using the 4 hourly data. So if we are using this 4 hourly time frame, even if on the 4 hourly time frame the consolidation is going on, then also we can simply use this data on the lower time frame and we can still profit. Here you can notice that you would have profited good enough for shorting, even if it doesn't really sustain and the moves are just slightly on the lower side. But given the time frame, you will be making good money on the hourly time scale. So you can count on that, and similar kind of circumstances play out here also. So we have to utilize various time frames and arrive at the combinations which are likely to help us in optimizing the profits and minimizing the losses. Now let us again add one more of this indicator, and then we edit it to hourly time frame. Okay, so this now becomes the parabolic SAR within the parabolic SAR. So you can give up on certain signals. Now suppose if the larger time frame trend is bearish, so what you do, you simply give up on the buy signals and you only try to target the sell signals. And if you do that, you will at least lose less money. And if the trend sustains as it does in these circumstances and here also, you will make a good amount of money. And if it were to remain in the consolidation phase only, then you will at least avoid wrong entries on opposite side of the trend. And many of the times the trades taken on the opposite side of the trends tend to be much more dangerous, as many times a sharp move can suddenly happen in the direction of the trend, and that can lead to unnecessary losses. So that kind of situation can also be avoided using this method. Now we will consider other editing options. So I will remove the larger time frame, parabolic SAR, indicators, plotted line, and let's see what we can done with the acceleration and the maximum value. Here the acceleration is used to convert the parabolic SAR's output line with the price movement. So if the acceleration is higher, whenever these price moves happen to be sharp, even in those scenarios, the higher acceleration will lead to the converging of these parabolic SAR line soon enough with these price action data. So now, as I am using higher acceleration, you can see that the plotting of the parabolic SAR is now happening quite close to the price action. So it is trying to follow the price moves quite closely. At the same time, it is also giving you the indication of the trend on which side it is. If it is bearish or bullish, you can make that judgment also. So we have both these circumstances playing out for us. So that's how this system works. All right. So here comes these parabolic SARs plotting. Now if I reduce the acceleration to say lower than the, oh no, zero acceleration can't really work. So here with the reduced acceleration, we will see that it will take some time for the price action to be converging with this plotting of the parabolic SAR. Now these signals will be generated only after substantial move happens in the opposite side of the trend, not trade, and so it will take more time. It will be a lagging formation, but still the basic interpretation remains the same, and we still keep looking for the trend change signs on these plotting of the parabolic SAR. Then comes the maximum value. We can play with that also. We can reduce it, we can increase it, and depending on what kind of formation we are using. Now here the maximum is 0.01. So it is looking a lot more interesting. It is not really following the price moves closely. It is taking a lot of time to catch up with the price action, and it works well in the circumstances where the trend is holding in the same side for considerable amount of time. But in the market where we are not really seeing any big move in those kind of market, we will see that the trend change will be happening exactly close to the moments where these highs or lows are formed, and it will lead to a lot of losses in those kind of circumstances. So here also you can go for a combination of two different time frames. Parabolic SAR plotted indicator, you can use a larger time frame along with the lower time frame, and you can filter out some noise. So that kind of situation will help you avoid these drawbacks of the indicator. Now let's try higher maximum. There is the 2, there is 3, 5, 6. Let's go to the 10. Alright, so now I am using 10 as the maximum value, and here it is in the chart where it is following the price moves quite closely, and we have lot faster indication of the trend change on the chart. So these are some of the editing options which you can utilize to customize these series as per the requirement. Now let us see what more can be done to make this chart look more beautiful, more aesthetic, and all you can do is take the color combination of your choice. You can opt for different colors for trend up or trend down, and it will work just fine. We have to use the same color for both the trend determining lines, the uptrend as well as downtrend, and the plots are using these dots, so we don't really have option in terms of the styling here. Opaqueness can be increased or decreased. So suppose if you don't want to make these parabolic SAR plotted indications to be too much prominent on the chart, all you have to do is reduce its transparency, and it will remain in the background on the chart, but it won't take much of the attention. Okay, so there is like keeping various indicators in place, so you get a good idea of what is happening as per which indicator. So in terms of using multiple indicators at the same time on the chart, I find this feature very useful, very important to work with, as it avoids making chart look too cluttered. Okay, now coming to the advanced option, if you want this parabolic line to remain constant for whole of this given time frame of the candle, then you have to opt for the recalculation to be done only on new candle. So whenever new candle formation takes place, it will remain the same till that candle closes. If you want the time period to be highlighted, whichever is the time frame used for the calculation of the indicator, here you can observe that this time frame is being highlighted, but since only one single single data point of that hourly formation is used here, we don't really have it looking too prominent or too broad. Then comes the option of customizing the calculation data. You can customize the indicators instrument, or you can simply use it from the chart. Similar thing you can do with the time period for the plot. You can use it from the chart, or you can keep it fixed to any of the value here provided from 10 seconds to 1 month. So all these options are there. The time zone can also be used from the chart, or you can define it on shorter periods. Display values at custom period end. So whatever is the customization done, if you want the same values to appear, if you are using say 15-minute chart, then you have to opt for it, or you can have these options of plotting being done at the custom period start, custom period middle, or each candle. So it always up to you. And coming to the spread side, you can simply use it from the chart, or you can keep it fixed at ask or bid side. And if you want the indicator to be plotted on all the time frames, whenever you make changes to the candle period of these underlying instrument, in this case Euro USD, it will be plotted. But if you opt out of this, then you have to specify the time frames on which the plotting of the indicator should be done. Now, if I make it to 15 minutes, there won't be any parabolic SAR plotting. But if I again change it to 5 minutes, the parabolic SAR will be plotted, as we are using the two time frames of hourly and 5 minutes for getting this data. And on other time frames, it won't be plotted because we have defined it. So now 10 minutes, there is no parabolic SAR. Now I will restore it back to hourly. All right, so this is it. Remove indicator. No, not really. We will edit it. Okay, so here comes this indicator to be shown on all breads. So we are done with most of these properties. We have tried out these properties one by one, and we have seen how we can work with this indicator while keeping in mind its shortcomings as well as its advantages. So both things we have to keep in mind, and then we have to customize the formation to work for us, not against us. So that's why this series is to make you aware of various properties and various uses possible. It is of course not exhaustive session. You can always come up with new formations, new ideas, new logics to work with, and I would encourage you to do so. So that's it from my side for today's session. If you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. I have also included the link for this new platform in the bio. So all these links are there. Do check it out. Thank you all for joining in. I will be back tomorrow with the extended version of this same indicator. Till then, stay tuned. Have a fabulous time. Let's make a lot of money. See you on tomorrow. Goodbye.